Hello everyone, it is Joe again, and I'm talking about manifestations and an experience I just had. Manifestations come when you allow them to come, when you are comfortable with them coming. This is why I have been talking recently and practicing, going back, most of a week, on this idea of feeling as good as I can without getting scared of the good feeling. So many of us get scared when we feel good, and that prevents good things from coming. It's one of the most insidious things that we find in lots of major religions, as I've said before. It's really important to feel as good as you can, and when you get a little scared, just stay at that good feeling. Stay at the edge. Stay at the edge of as much good feeling as you can stand without feeling scared. The experience I just had, in the last few minutes was of getting scared. And that's why we practice. I was feeling good and I was manifesting. I was celebrating a good thing that I know is coming. I don't know what it is yet, but I know it's coming. And I was celebrating it so much. And I was celebrating because I knew good things were going to come from this manifestation, from this feeling. Because a good feeling is a manifestation, right? It is bringing stuff closer to you. And then I thought of something. I thought of something that might come. I thought of my dream of manifesting people, mates into my life, either one or many, or some combination of the two. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, and I'm open to all of it, but I was thinking about manifesting a mate, and I thought about a recent potential that has gone away, at least for now. Through my choice, I consciously chose to draw boundaries with that person. Because trust building, is a two-way street. And it's important in relationships to understand that you keep the good and you let go, you release all the bad. So the next one, you're going to look for all that good again, and you're going to release all the stuff that you didn't like so much. It isn't to say that you can't do that within an existing relationship. You can, of course, heal a relationship. You can, of course, consciously work together towards a goal. And that is one of the most trust-building, long-term relationship-building things you can do, is to work towards a goal. And of course, I'm working towards a big goal right now of creating a safe and private place for myself in nature, and a wonderful home for myself to travel from, and potentially a place to guide or just care for spiritual seekers in a relatively private setting. I'm not trying to create something large, and I'm not a big fan of how people behave in large groups, but I think there needs to be a place of introverted spirituality. First for myself, but then to share all that with people, because there's a lot of people that could benefit from that kind of a thing. And to slowly develop my property into a place where I can host people in safety and privacy for them and for me, and really have a healthy place for people to be for a while when they really need it. And I have this crazy dream that even now I might find someone or someones to help me in this developing stage, in this building stage of building that place, which is going to start, well, has already started, but is going to start in a real way in just a couple of days. And I dreamed that dream, breathed it into this person that I released, and that was fine. To be honest, that little crazy thing that I had with that person, it went further and deeper than I ever expected it would. It was a raging success for both of us to allow love and care into our lives to that extent. And then we got to where we couldn't accept in anymore, because both of us hit our boundaries of fear of what we were comfortable dealing with, putting up with, and opening up to and opening up with. And so it stopped. And that will either restart on its own or restart in the hearts of other people, because both of us will be looking for that type of wonderful in everybody we meet. So it's always a growing experience, and it's always a learning experience. And there's this idea of getting to your edge. In a relationship, you get to the edge of what you can handle and what you can't. And we can try to communicate that better. With every relationship you have, whether it's romantic or professional or whatever, communicating where your edge is, where your boundary is, and doing that before someone crosses it, when they get near it, but before you get to the point of, I gotta walk away, I just can't stand this anymore. Communicating those things earlier in your life, the life of your relationship, before things get really bad, gives a relationship a chance. It doesn't mean you're going to succeed. If someone's getting into that danger zone fairly often, it may not work. It may be that the things that make them feel safe are within your danger zone, and the things that make you feel safe are in their danger zone. So that's not a good recipe for stability and trust. But you want to give it a chance, and it's good to have some flexibility. You don't want to get pushed around, you don't want to get manipulated or walked over. That happens to everybody, until we learn not to let it happen. But I really think it's healthy for us to love ourselves in a way where we challenge ourselves the right amount. Too much challenge, if you set your expectations too high, you end up doing things only out of fear of disappointing yourself or others. And those types of challenges can be really unhealthy. But I'm challenging myself to feel good, to raise my vibration to a place where I feel like, this isn't a little much, I might want to come down a bit, in order to feel safe, because we've been taught that we're only safe when we're at a low vibrational place. We prevent children from being loud and being happy and running around and screaming and expressing themselves. And I think that's where most rock music comes, out of a teenage rebellion that returns to that childlike wildness. And not just rock music, a lot of different kinds of music. I grew up in a culture in the 80s and 90s where rock music was that, in a hair metal sense. But in different cultures it expresses differently. But anyway, it's all about getting to that edge that was repressed. The edge of your trauma, the edge of your repression, the edge of the internalized trauma that you need to let go of in order to have a happy life. And you get to that edge and you say, okay, this is what it is. And you stay there as long as you can, and then you let it go. And when a feeling of lack happens, you just release.